Truebeautyforever here. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be focusing on the Jaclyn Hill Vault collection in collaboration with Morphe. This is like round 2 for Jaclyn. Most people know that she originally did this palette. This palette is absolutely phenomenal. This is literally like a life palette. So I am really excited about round 2, which is the Vault. So currently I have 3 of the 4 palettes. I picked up the 3 of 4 palettes that were available at Ulta. They were $15 each. They did not have the entire Vault as a set available at Ulta, but because I was trying to hurry up and get these so I can get this video up for you guys, I didn't really care. Because I don't have all the palettes all together, what I want to do is I want to do a video on each individual palette, just in case some of you are interested in one over the other. And the palette that I'm starting off with is the Bling palette, which looks like this inside. And the reason I'm starting off with this one is this is the one I was most excited to try out because of the berry tones, the purples, the slightly pinky shades. I'm just really excited for this palette. Also, I just wanted to let you guys know, for those who didn't know, these palettes were actually supposed to come out a couple months ago, and the reason why they didn't was because of a quality control issue with pressing. So Jaclyn said, throw those palettes out. We will repress, we'll delay the launch, and we'll make it right. And you know, some people have speculated that there is some kind of shady stuff going on in the background, but I personally gotta give Jaclyn her props. I respect her for that, because one thing about Jaclyn that I have found is that she doesn't put her name on just any old thing. She doesn't put her name on crap stuff. The products that I have tried that Jaclyn has promoted, collaborated with, have been of quality for me anyways. And Jaclyn Hill is a big enough name to where if she truly just cared about the money, she could have easily just allowed the palettes to go out, still made her coin. Morphe would have still made millions, and everybody would have been going on about their day. But I'm just gonna assume that Jaclyn was telling the truth. Now, another thing that people were saying is they felt like a lot of the shades were a little bit too similar in tone. So I just finished looking at the 3 palettes that I do have, and I will put Ring the Alarm and Bling Boss on top of each other. Please excuse my horrendous nails. But the only similarities that I find is the shade Mystic from the Bling Boss and the shade Framed from the Ring the Alarm, these two, which even on camera you can see this one's more plummy toned, this one's more berry reddish toned. They do look similar, but I'm sure that they would look different enough. In the actual Jaclyn Hill palette, the OG, honestly, Sparks, which is this shade here, looks similar to this shade here in the palette. Other than that, I personally don't see any significant similarities in these 2 palettes in particular. So now I'm going to swatch this palette on my arm just for those who care about that, so you guys can see. This is the first row of swatches. As you can see, the color Hush Hush swatched, not the best. Kind of chalky, but the shimmers look great. So again, this is the top row in order of how they appear in the palette. Okay, so this is the second row of colors in the order of which it appears in the palette. I think this row swatched better than the first. I do think Glitz and Glam and Ballsy are quite similar swatched on deeper skin like myself. They look pretty darn similar, with the exception of this Ballsy color has a little bit of a duochromatic shift. This color, Berry Treasure, most of the shimmer in it, I don't know if you can tell by the swatch here, but in person, most of the glittery part of this color deposited on top only, and then as I swatched down, the shimmer kind of faded out. So yeah, I just wanted to show you guys what it looks like swatched on deeper skin. Okay, so now I'm going to swatch the color Sparks here from the palette, and I'm going to swatch this shade from this Jaclyn Hill palette that looks similar to me on a different finger. Okay, yeah, they're clearly different. If anything, this one actually swatched better. As you guys know, I'm always gonna be honest. That kind of goes without saying. I've seen some mixed reviews. Although I do like Jaclyn Hill, I am going to, of course, be transparent with you guys and let you guys know my thoughts. So without further ado, let's dig in. I love the mirror on these. This mirror looks like a nice, high quality mirror. Okay, so to start off, I'm gonna go into concealer. I'm using the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define in the shade C12, which is light AF, and that's gonna act as the eyeshadow base. Okay, so I'm actually not gonna set the concealer because I want these colors to be super nice and pigmented. So I'm just gonna go in with a blending brush, and just for kicks and giggles, I'm gonna use the color Hush Hush as a transition shade. Personally, I would never use a shade this light as a transition shade because basically I feel like this shade's gonna look ashy on my skin tone, but let's just see. Yeah, it kind of just doesn't really exist. You know what I'm saying? I think I'm gonna try Sparks as my transition. This is quite a color to use as a transition, but I'm gonna just use the same brush and kind of use it lightly. Okay, let me try on this side. Maybe it's because I used that Hush Hush shade first. Let's try a different blending brush. Let's switch it up a little bit. Let's try a Morphe M576. Okay, I'm a little underwhelmed. I think I want to do a halo eye. That's what I'm envisioning so far. But this ain't it. I'm a little shocked at this. It's a little dry. It feels like it's not like the nice, smooth, buttery, super pigmented, but that's just one shade. Let's go into Rockstar right here on a shader brush. I'm gonna kind of pack that. Now that's nice and pigmented. You know, halo eyes do look kind of crazy until you like actually finish with them. So don't judge me too harshly. So Rockstar is a lot darker than I thought it would be. Here's Rockstar in the pan. Let me swatch it on my skin. Look how dark it looks on my eye. That's interesting. Like, it looks mad dark. I'm shook actually. I'm gonna blend it out. I want to go in with Gem, the prettiest color. This purple is so shookening. This is a Wet n Wild flat shader brush. This color has a little shimmer to it. And I'm just connecting that with Rockstar. I want to try as many colors as I can. So I want to go into Mystic and try to like blend that into the crease a little bit. Rockstar is super dark compared to what I thought it would be. Like, it looks almost like black on the eyes, and this is it in the pan. So I'm curious to see how Mystic will look on the eyes, which is significantly darker. So I'm just gonna kind of blend that into the crease. Let me swatch Mystic and Rockstar again. That's really interesting. They look about the same in darkness, just about. And they kind of look similar on the eyes too, you guys. I'm kind of shook. I'm gonna go back into Rockstar. And this is me first applying it on my eye versus a little bit settled in. So that's kind of weird because it's almost like it oxidizes a little bit. This looks crazy right now, but I hope it'll come together. I honestly didn't expect it to look this dark. Okay, I'm gonna go on ahead and just apply some concealer to the middle where I want the halo. Okay, while that sets a little bit, I kind of went over the Rockstar a little bit too much. So I'm gonna go back into that and kind of blend out the edges of the concealer. It's crazy. Okay, so right here, it's black. It's literally black, and right here it's purple. What the fudge is happening? What is this? I've never seen this before, except for with Subculture. I'm shook right now. Wow, okay. I think I'm gonna go with the color Ballsy on the center of the lid. I'm not wetting it because I wanna see how it'll perform. I kind of want to also try Pizzazz, this color here, for a little bit of a gradient. So I'm gonna put that on the outer parts of where I apply Ballsy. And all these I'm applying dry. I'm just so shocked at this Rockstar shade, bro, because it literally turns like the darkest plummy black. It kind of just makes the look kind of crazy. So I'm gonna just stop trying to make that color work because it doesn't. I'm gonna just try to cover it up with Gem. I kind of want to try Berry Treasure. I'm just applying a little bit of Berry Treasure to the outer V. So now I'm gonna do the other eye and I will be right back. Hey guys, so I am back. I did the other eye off camera like I said, and I wanted to see if I was still gonna come across that same problem of Rockstar kind of turning black on the eye, and I did. I'm going to go into the color Bling Bling into the inner tear duct because a biche loves a nice blinding inner tear duct. I just wanted to show you guys the fallout on them. Quite a bit. Alrighty guys, so I am back with a finished face. So this is the finished look with everything, you know, contour, highlight, powder. But now I'm going to give you guys my final thoughts on the Bling Boss palette. So honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit underwhelmed with this palette. I was super excited to use it, and it definitely is a nice palette, and I came up with a pretty look that definitely is not in my comfort zone. However, I just don't feel like this was the same quality or better than the original Jaclyn Hill palette. You know, with this palette, I just find that the mattes in here are, you know, very smooth, buttery, creamy, very blendable. All of the shimmers are very pigmented, and what's in the pan is true to color when you put it on your eyes. And I do think that these shadows did perform decent, especially for the price of $15. With the exception of Rockstar, this shade just kind of went hella left. It turned literally black on my skin, and it is not a color, in my opinion, that I would expect to just go from this to pitch black. So I don't know what's up with that. So if you're really into the purple tone, I would say that this is a decent palette for the price. Now, if this was priced any higher, like 25, 35, I would have to give it a thumbs down because the quality is just not the best. It's not the typical Morphe quality that I'm used to, like the Jaclyn Hill palette, the Morphe 3502 palette. Those palettes are so phenomenal. Like, they're super buttery, super pigmented, easily blendable. I just feel like this palette does have the blendability. The shadows were not the creamiest. Some of them were a little bit underwhelming pigmentation wise, like sparks. I don't know, it's just not the quality that I'm used to from Morphe. For a typical average palette or shadow, they're good, but they're not Morphe good. That's shookening. I would love to know if any of you go out and purchase this palette, swatch this Rockstar shade, and tell me if it oxidizes or changes on you. Would I recommend this palette? I would recommend this palette, yes, if you want the purple tone and you don't want to pay the price of like the Norvina palette or, you know, anything like that. But just know it's gonna be a little bit less than what you're used to. That's all I got, y'all. Did you guys find this video helpful, especially my deeper skin beauties out there? If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. Let me know which palette you'd like to see me use next. Definitely subscribe so you don't miss out on the next video. I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.